Hi, my name is Ramon Osa, and I teach the fun in the fundamentals of tennis on the internet or on the interwebs, whatever term you prefer. I got started teaching tennis by mistake, actually. I was going to school in La Jolla in San Diego studying violin, and a friend came up to me and said, "Hey, would you come out and teach me how to hit a tennis serve? I know you play a lot." And I was playing a lot. I had never taught tennis, and I said, "Sure." So we went out to the courts, and the rest is history. The most important shot in tennis, geez, I'd have to say the serve. Well, I would say probably the serve and the return of serve are probably 1A and 1B, but most likely the serve, if for no other reason, because you kind of have complete control of the shot from the beginning to the end. I think the reason people want a better serve is at the end of the day, they want to feel confident and in control and ultimately win more matches. I guess that would be it. What should people realize about the serve? It's a tough question. So I want you to imagine that you're playing tennis on a beautiful sunny day with your best friend in the whole world. And you're playing great. You guys are exchanging ground strokes. I mean, just awesome, great play. You're volleying perfect. And you guys are each holding your serve. And now it's your turn to serve at 4-5 to stay in the match. And you're having a great time, but you're really competitive, and ultimately you want to win this match. This leads to probably the biggest myth there is about the serve. Well, we hear it all the time, right? Hit a bigger serve. Crack that serve faster than ever. Add 10 miles per hour to your serve. And the notion that you need to hit 120-mile-an-hour serve to be successful is complete and utter bullshit. Let me explain. So, if you look at the best server of all time, and I would say probably the most effective server, if nothing else, you think about Roger Federer. He certainly won the most Grand Slams as far as the men go. And you could say the same thing about Serena. What makes them such great servers? Well, we know it's not the power, so maybe it's the placement. And that's getting closer to the truth. They can put the ball on a dime, but if you really think about it, what makes them so great is their ability to keep their opponents off balance and consistently create advantages for themselves when they go to hit the serve. And I've got great news for you. You can do this literally starting today, wherever you are on the serve, and you can begin to implement a strategy that's going to win you more points. Now, obviously, if you're playing somebody who cannot hit a backhand return to save their life, then you'd be well suited to go hit a lot of serves to his backhand, and you're going to do really well with that. But when you feel like your opponent's starting to catch on to your serve, then you can realize that there are 4 factors that you can use and change and play with that are going to give you a great advantage on your serve. So the first one's spin. And if we look at the serve, you really have the flat serve, right? You have the spin serve, you have the kick serve, and the top spin serve, the kick serve, the American twist serve, and all the kind of nuances of that serve. So realizing that you have all these spins at your disposal, now you can begin to create a return for your opponent that is very difficult because the ball is doing so many different things as it hits the ground. It makes it very difficult for them to get a beat on it. So the second factor is power, or speed. And I think so often people get locked into having to hit the ball really hard. If you look at Greg Maddux from the 90s, the Atlanta Braves, he never threw the ball, I don't think ever threw it like 95 miles an hour like some of these other guys, but he was always moving the ball around and he was always changing speeds. And for your serve, you can really use a fast serve, a medium serve, or a slow serve, and really everything in between. So when you mix up the speed, you are mixing up the timing and you're making it more difficult for your opponent to get a beat on that serve. So the third one is placement. Okay, so you can place the ball anywhere in the service box and it counts. So typically the three places you aim are down the tee, into the body, and out wide. And when you start thinking and really trying to place the ball, and you start moving the ball around in that service box, you make it a lot more challenging for your opponent to return your serve. And then the fourth factor is placement. Oh, sorry, we did placement of where you're standing. So, you have the middle of the court, you have all the way out wide to the doubles court, right? So you can stand literally anywhere between the middle to the doubles court if you're playing doubles, singles if you're playing singles. And what this does is it instantly creates a different angle from where the serve is coming from. And it also allows you to open up the court and do different things with the ball. Kind of run your opponent off the court, jam them, coming from a different angle. So, you really have these four factors. And when you start tinkering and playing with these four factors, you can realize that there's a lot of possibilities. Yeah, man, it's funny, but myself included, I used to just get locked into playing one serve from one location, hitting into the same area of the box with the same spin. And I would do this time after time after time. And against some people it would work, but against the greater majority, as the match went on, they really started to get a beat on my serve and started doing some damage with it. So then I had a lesson with a guy named Dennis Chronister. I'll never forget him. He said, you got to think like a pitcher, start moving the ball around. So I started doing that. I started developing, different serves, and I really started to notice that it made it a lot more challenging for my opponent to get a beat on the serve. Yeah, so if I had any advice, I would say, if you're out there playing a match, just realize that you have four factors that you can play with here. You got the spin, the speed, the placement of the serve, and where you're standing. And when you start to really play with these different factors, you're going to notice that it's a lot more challenging for your opponent, and it really gets them out of their comfort zone.